cloudy, rainy day, unless she's left the island.
Mm.
It's possible. But she will be joining us today. We'll have Mr.
Clifford Roberts.
Well, yes, Clifford. And Mr. David Patrick.
Oh, David Patrick.
Yes. David, thanks to Earl Basin himself, the interview with Mr. David Patrick. He's going to give us some insight on the SEC NCAA Division I basketball team, University of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, he was head coach in the West Coast last year, and he made the change to go down south and bring back some remnants of good basketball down there with Arkansas. It's one of the powerhouses of the SEC.
Yeah.
He's going to give us an update on how things are going on as they get prepared for the upcoming season, how they got to put things in place for the COVID-19.
Just to have a training session.
Just to have a training session. It's amazing how they get tested 3-4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's every other day.
Yep.
And obviously the system of bringing your recruits in to see the school, tour the gym, tour the classes.
All that.
Online.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Online,
yeah.
Right? That doesn't happen anymore. Well, it can't happen anymore, but it's not happening at this present time.
Mm-hmm.
So things have definitely changed. He's going to give us some insight. As David, was a semi-pro, correct?
Yep.
In Australia.
Yeah.
Done quite well for himself.
Yeah. As part of the national team coaching staff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, given the fact that if the Olympics go on and Australia do take part, then we get a chance to see him in Tokyo.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Little island, huh?
Yeah.
Little island.
Yeah, and I mean, we even have Mia Fisher, who is the niece of the Bascom's.
Yeah.
Their brother has a daughter, Mia Fisher. She's actually now currently training with the U.S. national women's soccer team in a bid to gain a place on the national team that is getting ready for Tokyo, as well as other international commitments. As we all know, USA are the #1 women's national team in the world, having just won the World Cup back in 2019, last year.
Right.
A lot of fanfare, a lot of things going on with the women who were also fighting for equality.
Yes.
Being paid equally with the men. It didn't quite go their way, but at least they have started that conversation, and I think eventually they will get there. Their argument was and will be that they're gaining just as much respect around the world as the men are, and being ranked #1
for a number of years.
Yes, actually, should actually help in that that pay structure.
Yeah.
So they have some strong opinion on that, and to be honest, I think they are right. They should be paid according.
Right.
So let's hope that gets sorted out pretty quick.
Why do you think, since we're on this topic, why do you think they're not brought up to par? Say at least a 25 or maybe even a 50% raise for the women's football teams.
It's
in
just
the United States, that is.
It's just like America weren't ready for a woman to be president. It's still a man's dominated world.
So the marketing.
Yeah.
That's where you get it. The marketing is not recognizing the
women. It's not. Well, even the women, guaranteed, the Women's World Cup got just as much viewership around parts of the world that the men did.
And you're right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying more so for the North Americans, not recognizing the women.
Right.
Team,
yeah.
Individual sports, as you say, women.
Right.
That's getting the recognition.
Right.
Yes, the tennises and so forth, the track and field. But as a team sport, they're not getting.
it. It's almost a struggle. If you look at a sport like gymnastics, they go as a team, compete as an individual, but also looking to get team points. But you have somebody stands out.
And the marketing goes on that individual.
And that person, right, and not the team per se. You know what I mean?
That dates back 30, 40, maybe even 60 years.
Yeah,
right?
which actually it sets a lot of things back because, you might win it, but our team might win the team championship. But what gets overshadowed is you won it, so all the attention goes to you, Ian, and not to the team for being champions altogether. It's overlooked.
It's team sport.
Yeah. It's a team sport first.
That's right.
And then it's an individual.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do give recognition to both sides, male and female athletes, when they're in team sports, that they say, our team.
Yes.
Teamwork made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that person or the individual
They really stand out.
was the standout, was the MVP.
Right.
When they recognize their teammates and their coaching staff,
right.
That's when you say, yeah, this person's all about team.
It's almost like this, and we can talk about this for a while. Over the last few Super Bowls, they would say so and so won the game for the team. They were the MVP, so they were the standout person. 9 times out of 10, it's been the quarterback.
Yeah.
The people overlooked are the 5 guys that do all the blocking to allow him the time.
In trenches.
That get overlooked.
Yeah.
Because if it weren't for those guys, that guy wouldn't have the time to make the throw, wouldn't have the time to allow the play pattern to run out, and all of that. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. When you start talking about a team, it's everybody. But yes, you do have the quarterback who 9 times out of 10, I remember back in the day when Dallas Cowboys were winning, and Troy Aikman used to thank his front 5.
They did. And not only thanked them, he always recognized them by
rewarding them. Yeah. Right? And then, you protect me, you will get this. Yeah.
And that's why I give credit to quarterbacks that do that reward their offensive
acknowledge their offensive line, because without them, you don't have. But could you imagine every down, some guy rushing through your line because they say, you know what, you want to be the boss? Well, here, hold on to this. Go ahead, man. Attack me.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And sometimes some players will do that just to gain the respect from the quarterback and or coach.
And you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also joining us today on Inside Sports is Mr. Clifford Roberts. Got a great program coming up this coming Sunday.
Right. Next Sunday.
Next Sunday. I'm sorry.
Next Sunday.
Yeah. Next Sunday. So he's going to join us in the studio and discuss that at 2:30 today. He's taking this initiative on his own and opened it up and took a full good course.
Yeah. Man on the run.
So Clifford Roberts, who's keeping himself in great shape, man, gets up like 4 o'clock in the morning. Trains 6 days a week.
Yeah, when you have ambitions of doing Ironmans and all of that,
and he completes it.
Yeah. I mean, he loves to challenge himself. So I've known Clifford for quite some time, and he loves a new challenge. And it's not about winning the race; it's about accomplishing a goal he sets for himself.
Right.
And at the end of the day, because I remember his first Ironman, he said to me, man, when I started, I didn't think I'd do it. Right after I finished, I said, I think I could do this again. I saw him about 2 weeks later. Yeah, I'll do it again. I'm like, man, how are you going to put yourself through that? But it's something that you challenge yourself over and over and over and over enough to say, you know what, I want to accomplish this goal.
Yeah.
And again, it's an individual thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Credit to him.
Yeah.
Putting in the time. So he'll be joining us in the studio. So, real quick before we take our first commercial break, you want to recap results of this weekend?
Where do we start?
Well, you want to take a commercial break first?
Yeah, let's take a commercial break
first. And we'll come back and we'll recap the sports from the weekend, and then we'll fall in another break after that and come back with Mr. David Patrick. So let's take our first commercial break. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Just recapping again on the weekend sports. You want to start on Saturday? You want to start Friday night? It's
Well,
all
yeah, we
yours,
can
man.
we can. I mean, Saturday we had um, what we have in the had a swim meet in the morning over at the National Sports Center. In the afternoon was a Premier Division football game.
That's
Robin
right.
Hood defeated St. George's 3-0. Then there was a track meet. You had Dejman running the 1,000 meters. You had Cheyenne Smith and Grant Rivers doing the javelin. Grant is trying to meet the qualifying standard for the Olympics, which is 185. On Saturday, he got a 160. Well, he was the national coach challenged him to get a 165. He got a 163. But again, he's still getting used to his new javelins and putting himself through the rigorous of getting a rhythm. And he's working hard with Cheyenne as well, who's helping him out with that rhythm, doing a lot of videotaping and, just going over analysis. Dej is also trying to qualify for the Olympics, and he's doing a lot of different distances and different speeds to build up to that. I think he wants to do the 1,500. So doing the 1,000, he was paced the first lap by Lamont Marshall, and then he got a youngster to pace him for the next lap. So he's putting in the time and the effort to um, get to where he wants to be. He's concentrating on just that. In the evening, it was the start of the harness pony racing season down at Vesey Street. A lot of youngsters taken to the track. Their season was cut short early in the year, and it's good to see them back out on the track. Just getting their feet wet, as they call it. So and then Saturday evening was a first division match. Not Robin Hood, Flanagan's Onions and Wolves finished 4-4.
High scoring affair.
Well, yeah, and believe it or not, it was three girls in stoppage time. So
Really?
yeah, so very
That's
entertaining. I actually got an email from a gentleman last night, said for the average spectator, the ending of that game was very entertaining for anybody. If you weren't for either team, you were just out watching football.
right.
It was very entertaining in that regard. So yeah. Then yesterday morning, it was a triathlon down at Clearwater.
Yeah, I heard.
Ashley Cooper and I want to say, can't remember his name right now. Oh, Tommy Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Marshall and Ashley Cooper were the winners of the open division. You had archery start their indoor season down at Clearwater. Um, and then we had field hockey, had a triple header at the stadium. Of course, the World Tens started yesterday as well. Two teams finished undefeated on the day. They're back in action as we speak. Actually, the day would have just come to an end
That's right. Yeah,
today.
pretty early
They
today.
both all six teams had two games today. Started off at 10. So we'll see how they made out. I asked over there a little while ago. They seem to be getting on. Despite the rain, they're just
That's right.
they play,
Yeah,
they play.
yeah.
Um,
Quick question.
sure.
What's the difference in the tens rugby as compared to our rugby that we have, our annual events?
Well, the tens they've kind of made their own rules for certain things.
Right.
The field is a lot smaller. Number one. The conversions are it's a challenge for conversions. So they have different spots on the field where you can take a conversion that would go from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 points.
Ah,
The halfway line is a 5. And you saw, well, yesterday there was absolutely no wind whatsoever.
right.
And guys were booting from the halfway line and clearing the poles to
Get
so
those points.
yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have some other rules that are a little different, but the basic rugby rules are there. The tens would allow players from both sevens and 15s to play because of the strategy of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you need some big guys in there that's gonna get into the rocks and pick up the ball and come charging at some little small little guy that's just gonna say, you know what, let me get out of the way and let this guy go through, and you big guys come over tackle him. But it's very entertaining. It's not as fast as sevens. Sevens have a lot of scoring. Where here, you have to almost break down a team in order to score.
Right.
Even though guys get away down the flanks, somebody's just as fast coming across to cut it out. So they spend a lot of time breaking each other down to get those things done. In football yesterday, it was one first division game. Hamilton Parish match with Island Rangers was called off, but Young Men Social Club defeated St. David's 2-1. And then in Premier Division, it was Southampton Rangers coming from behind to defeat Devonshire Colts 3-2. PHC beat Crossroads down at Garrison 4-0. Somerset and Devonshire Cougars drew 2-2. And Dandytown defeated Somerset Eagles 5-0. Yeah.
That's a 6-pack.
Well, yeah.
5-0.
5-0. I mean, there's a lot of teams have a lot of work to do. The gap is now starting to open. As you know, 3 teams are going down.
Yep.
Right now, Crossroads have 1. Somerset Eagles have none.
That's right. Boy.
Crossroads have Crossroads have 1. Devonshire Colts have 1. St. George's have 3.
And the Eagles have 0.
The Eagles have 0. So those 4 teams right now are well, St. George's are 4 points behind the next team, which is Southampton Rangers. Yeah, Southampton Rangers will go difference. Then it's Somerset and PAC. All 3 have 7.
Interesting.
So it's funny because the next weekend we'll see Norfolk is taking on Dandytown on Saturday night.
That's gonna be a good game.
St. George's play Crossroads on Sunday. That's a must-win for both teams. A draw will not do it for both teams. As early as it is in the season, a draw will not be good enough for those teams. Because you need to make sure you stay close to that pack.
Because the 3 teams.
Right. So if St. George's win, that gives them a lot of breathing room because Devonshire Colts and Crossroads only have 1 point. So St. George's will move to 6, and Devonshire Colts are playing Devonshire Cougars.
Neighbors.
Yes.
That's going to be tough.
Yes. Southampton Rangers are playing PHC.
Neighbors.
So it's all, and Somerset plays Somerset Eagles. So it's a neighborhood affair this weekend. So it's a chance to, and even Somerset, if they pick up a win, they move to 10 points.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much 10 points in the first half of the season kind of puts you in the driver's seat to stay up.
Yeah, separate you.
Now, that doesn't guarantee you staying up.
Of course not.
But you're in a better position than all these other teams. So Somerset Eagles are going to need to pull off a miracle.
They have no points. They haven't won a game.
They've scored 3 goals and conceded 17 in their 4 games.
Roger. I mean, Roger.
Well, what I got to do is go SAL, get some block, and build a wall in the goal. Build a wall in the goal.
That's your defense. Wow. Unfortunately, that's not legal.
Wow. Until they tell you take it down, put it up.
Put it up. Wow. And again, that's hard. I think a lot of it has to do with the training of the pandemic, and it shows it in the athletics, right?
Yeah, I just think one of the major problems with Somerset Eagles right now is that they have what is considered veteran guys who have played with each other for a long time, but the quality isn't there.
So the wear and tear is catching up.
Yes.
I get you.
Yes. Their quality days of playing have gone past them. Now they're kind of a step behind.
So no young players have come through.
Well, they have some young, but they're considered as young, and the veterans are kind of on the backside of their careers, so they're trying to hang on till the rest of the youngsters come through. But how long do you continue?
You say young. How young are these?
Well, they have 2. They have 18 and 19-year-olds playing. They have a young goalkeeper, who very well inexperienced, and I think that's been a problem for them as well. And not having, because what happens in Bermuda is if you have an experienced goalkeeper, 9 times out of 10, your confidence level in that person
Of course.
goes high. And the teams kind of lifted. You saw that with a team like St. George's on the weekend. Without Freddie, they looked as if they didn't have a clue on the field. They played second fiddle
Right.
for most of the game, and to be frank, they did. They they struggled trying to figure out things on the field. You know what I mean? And that's where
leadership.
Yeah, you have to have some leadership on the field to help guide and get the coaching idea and mechanisms to kind of help. I'm not saying that you're going to win it, but what I'm saying is you have to be able to adjust to certain things. And I sitting there on Saturday, I said, one change you make right away is you change your formation to a 4-4-2 to stop Robin Hood from coming down your middle.
Yeah.
And that's what Robin Hood was doing, coming down the middle, coming down the middle, coming down the middle. And they were creating so many chances, and it was like, just drop one of these strikers back, put the two guys together up front, and hope you can get the ball over the top and they can get a goal for you just to take the pressure off.
Right.
But they stayed the way they were, especially for the first half, and it was so easy for Robin Hood, and I think that's where they made their mistake. And of course, without seeing Somerset Eagles play, but this week I saw them play Devonshire Cougars out the rack. As the game went on, the pace for them got slower because of the veteran guys that they had. So I mean, I'm not saying that they'll go the entire season. I'm hoping they don't go the entire season without picking up a win. But right now, looking at it, it's very difficult to see where they'll get it from.
Has it ever happened in football in Bermuda? A team not winning at all?
I don't know. I know of last maybe 10 years, teams have just been one game,
Right. Right.
Because you always got one in you. Just when they start talking about you won't win a game all season, that one weekend where all of a sudden you play like you're the league champions and people saying, where that team come from?
Right. We've been all season.
Yeah. So,
okay, they're in that situation. I get it. So a lot is happening. It's gonna be interesting this coming weekend. I call it neighborhood football.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be that neighborhood rivalry this weekend, and believe it or not, it actually adds to the excitement because now the entire neighborhood comes out.
Yeah, to support.
Yeah, it's nothing like a St. George's and David's rivalry, a Somerset Eagles rivalry, a Rangers PAC rivalry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's Warwick and Colts and Colts. Yeah, that's
Colts
the parish, the Devonshire parish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then of course that North Village, Dannytown kind of that's a rivalry as well. Yeah. Both teams are playing quality football, and believe it or not, well, Wednesday night is the Dudley Eve semifinals over at the stadium. So Somerset played Devonshire Cougars at 7, and then Dandytown played North Village at 9. That's the semifinal, and then 4 days later, those two teams go to battle at BAA Field. So, it's
quite interesting.
Very much so, and the quality of football is getting there. We still have a long way to go. We have the challenges of attitudes on the field of players. And we just need to keep working at it. But I left a game yesterday, and the whole time I was leaving, I was saying to myself, when will the club take responsibility for their players' actions and start to either say we don't want you or we're going to suspend you if you don't clean up the act. Because one player in particular, his behavior from the minute the referee blew the whistle, the referee had to talk to him, and even his players started getting on his backside. But when you win, it's all covered up. Nobody remembers that.
No,
you have to address that because remember, every time you put on the jersey, you're representing a club. You're not representing yourself no more. And that's where I think we as people, when we win, don't worry about it. We got away with it. But when we lose, it's somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
To hear players say, "Oh, the referee is not giving us anything. It's that type of day." I'm saying you guys are making excuses for yourself in the event that you think you're going to lose. You already made the excuses in the 5th minute of the game.
Better yet, when you arrived again. Oh, his referee.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You gotta. The referee don't miss a 5 yards. The referee don't miss a header that's an open goal. The referee don't miss a penalty.
Well, this is VAR.
Well, but it's funny because a lot of even talking to a lot of coaches, they'll remember every mistake that the referee made and would harp on it, but will not harp on their player giving away the ball in the final third to give up a goal. Will not harp on their player missing from 5 yards out. Will not harp on their player giving up a free kick outside the box when there's no pressure. You won't harp on that.
No.
But you're worried about a call that the referee's closer to. Because there's always how you make that call. No.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then of course that when you harp on the referee, that's using that as an excuse.
As an excuse, yeah. Just in case we lose, I'm gonna say it was Don Bassett's fault because he missed a good game. Well, okay. That's your opinion? How many goals did you miss? How many times did you give away the ball? Because and it's funny now because a lot of these coaches have statisticians that are doing this for them, and you look at it, but they never harp on that openly. It's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah. Interesting how the game has changed.
Oh yeah.
Statistician / analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's really pretty much the same.
Yeah. Right? I mean, if you look at okay, last week everybody could see Liverpool got robbed, right? Okay. But how many other chances did Liverpool miss?
About 7, 8. But in all fairness, I get where you're going.
Mm.
Our manager said we missed numerous opportunities.
Right.
Many said we missed numerous opportunities.
Right. But the one thing that a lot of people, I still hear them talking about is that one call. You know what I mean?
You don't hear me talk about it.
No. I'm just saying that I hear a lot of people talking about that one
correct, right?
call.
Had we scored those goals,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
For example, you saw Liverpool play Saturday?
I didn't see him play. I saw highlights. Though.
So you saw the goal that Salah scored?
Yes.
So it was offside, right? It was the one that he scored to put us ahead
2-1. Right.
So 3-4 minutes later, score a header.
Right.
You don't hear him talking about Salah's offside, do you?
No.
So you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. That's a perfect example you're getting.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great control.
Mm.
Boy down chest, turn around and score. Right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great goal.
Right.
Okay, turning point. Offside. 3 minutes later, we score header by Jota.
Right.
Goal. And your point is still valid.
Mm.
Had he not scored the go-ahead goal, we would be saying Salah wasn't offside.
Right.
Right. You're right.
Yeah. Because the one standout issue is we always look at that as opposed to, the actual reality. Okay. The other game last week was West Ham coming back to draw with Tottenham. Right.
Whew.
Everybody was looking at the first half. Tottenham, they look like they're going to blow West Ham off the pitch. But a goal changed the whole game. The first goal that West Ham scored kind of changed the whole momentum, the tempo. They stopped worrying about, because if you looked at it, when they were down 3-0, they was complaining to the referee. They was this, they was that. All their attention was on everything but getting that goal. When that goal was scored, they became a totally different team. And then it was Tottenham's turn to start. Referee. And then, before you know it, it's 3-0. Now what? So.
No, you're absolutely right. Good point.
Yeah.
And we do that for all sports. Not just football. It's all
I
sports.
was at field hockey yesterday, and the same thing or similar things happened. Not to the extent, but you heard players challenging referees on decisions. You see the tussling of players and all that because it's a contact sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna have that. So no matter what sport it is, flag football, there's not supposed to be contact, but guys make contact, and because you're trying to do something, somebody's trying to prevent you from doing it. It's a contact sport, so you're gonna have that referee. You don't know what you're doing, or you can't see this. Open your eyes and that, all of that. So,
one of those things.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our second commercial break, sorry. And when we come back, we speak to Mr. David Patrick. Gives an update on the University of Arkansas. Thanks to our basis. As you know, he's at the SEC Division One basketball sport. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk. As you mentioned, David Patrick joining us. This interview was pre-recorded because due to his schedule, he was unable to join us live. So let's now join Dave Patrick, who's at the University of Arkansas preparing for the SEC Division One basketball season, upcoming season.
Look, I think things are going well. We've been training camp.
It's
I think we're doing good here in terms of health and everything else that's been going on in the world. As for sports, it's been a test because of the COVID-19. A lot has happened in college football as well as the NFL. What are the steps going to be for college basketball? Yes, it's going to be an advantage. We need the size. You guys have nice numbers, but protocols have to be in place. For sure. Definitely. So, as we look at our Arkansas football teams, it's had a great start. Like they during football season, they've been getting tested 3 times a week on campus, and currently our student athletes are being tested once a week. When we ramp up closer to competition, which will be mid-November, we'll start testing our staff and our team 3 times a week, per the ACC protocol. So the student athlete welfare and the coach's athlete, the coach's welfare is what's most important, and they're doing everything they can to make sure everyone is healthy before they step out on that floor and play. The season's just around the corner. It's supposed to start November 25th. Do you know who you're going to take on? Because usually the schedule is completed by now. You know who you're going to play in your division, and outside of the division itself, it's going to be quite different this year. It's definitely going to be different, and it's kind of a moving target, which is very, very rare. We know our SEC schedule, and we play our SEC opponents twice, and we found out our Big 12 SEC schedule, we play Oklahoma State in January once, but we haven't locked in on our first opponent. We have a good idea who it is, but we're not sure yet because we'll be coming from another conference. But we have a good idea. It'll probably be an in-state type team, a team that can drive here rather than get on a plane because, as you mentioned, COVID it's still around this country. We don't want guys flying on planes. We can get teams that are driving distance. Interesting that the season is supposed to get underway on the 25th of November. That's 2 days before Thanksgiving. That's usually time when people get together with their family and friends, which is pretty big in the United States. But your season's getting underway. What's going to be the momentum to drive this season forward on November 25th?
You know, in basketball, typically that's when the Thanksgiving tournaments are played. So typically there's tournaments in Hawaii, you schedule to be one in Las Vegas, and there's stuff in the Bahamas and Cancun, etc. So they've always been during that Thanksgiving weekend. What they've tried to do is move those tournaments to the mainland, so those tournaments are still taking place, but they're taking place in different other parts of the country, like in Orlando, in South Dakota, believe it or not. So, in the league up in Connecticut, and so they're still trying to have those tournaments that were already scheduled, but then move them stateside. So that's the significance of having the college basketball start that Thanksgiving weekend.
Also, what's going to be interesting for you, and not just your school, but all schools, how much of an impact has been the COVID-19 as for recruiting for players in various sports, but let's concentrate this for basketball. How much of an impact has it played?
Look, I think the significant impact for any athlete, male or female, is trying to pursue a college career in 2021. Because, you know, the state of the matter is we haven't been able to go out and see these athletes like typically would. Nor can we fly them into our campus to visit, so whether it's basketball, track and field, football, whatever the sport may be. We haven't been allowed to do that, obviously, because of the precautions with COVID-19. So it's a different process this year. It's a lot of talking over Zoom and studying film and trying to get to know somebody over a computer screen, which is uncharted territory for everybody. But that's kind of the state of the world we're in at the moment. And so recruiting is definitely taking a different step in 2020 with COVID-19.
With that said, then, what's it been like now that you're going to put things in place? You're putting the preseason training, putting forth for the players itself. Yes, COVID-19 has an impact throughout the world. So, how are you going to motivate these players to be focused for the year, knowing that they have to be tested 3 times a week during the season, and possibly their opponents may come down with the virus, and number of players may be impacted in this? How are you guys going to keep the team together, focus on something of this sort?
No, I think, Coach Musk went around and had theories that stay nimble during this period. I mean, we were, you got to be able to trust what's going on. You say that for 13 players one night, you may have 10. Maybe you're missing a coach and you can't use that as an offensive guy. You're not prepared to play. I mean, as we watch the NFL and baseball, they've had players coming out of COVID and the game's still going on. And so we have to be able to do that, and that's from a coaching standpoint. But the other part, when we talk about the mental state of the players, I think the fact that they were away from all of us shut college sports down, and the fact that back in the court, they're just chomping at the bit to get in the game to play. Our students, like a lot of students around the country, are doing classes online. So the time that we're together as a team, I think is good for them, and I think they're itching to go play another opponent. We have been playing basketball for somebody else since the month of March. So, provided all that everyone's healthy and everyone's safe, the guys are excited to go out and play. But, obviously, safety is paramount under these conditions.
Speaking of under these conditions, you know full well as a former athlete and now an assistant coach, putting the team together and bonding is important. What's it been like able to work through these conditions and keeping people focused on a bond, saying that we work together as one, and knowing that an impact of COVID-19 is playing throughout the world?
Look, it's been challenging. It's been challenging. Typically, this team building activities. Coach Musk typically have guys in house, so we can go take them on a hike or go swimming or something like that. The team bonding activities, that's been a little bit harder during COVID-19. What we have tried to do is once a month, try to do some group activities together on campus. Just try to get those relationships going. It is challenging, and our hope is that that this time of year between July and November, that we've been able to grow the team on the floor, and hopefully we'll start traveling together. That's when we can start getting to know each other a lot better. Because when you bring in a bunch of athletes from all around the world, it's hard to
How
bond
much time left?
like you typically would under these circumstances.
Once the season gets underway, what are the expectations? How are you going to look at the recruitment that you had to say, we want to win the SEC, we want to take it to the Final Four? What are the expectations for the Razorbacks this year?
All of your above, at the University of Arkansas, you're always competing to win SEC championship because we have great resources, we've got great tradition, we have a great coach, and so that's still the goal. The fortunate thing for us here is at a place like Arkansas, we charter on airplanes, we stay at good hotels where we can isolate, and so they haven't, our student athletes haven't been deprived of any resources that can help them. Now it's just when it kicks in, of using all the adversity that's come to us this past year, trying to bottle that up and compete together to try to win an SEC championship this year.
Okay, as for you, how are you keeping yourself? I mean, through these hard times, ready to go now.
Look, it's been hard, especially because my father was there to Bermuda and wanted him to come over for Thanksgiving, but obviously that's challenging, flying back and forth in this climate. But my family's just doing well, being out here. So it's a little different to California. The good thing I told you earlier, the weather's been so nice up here. But it's been different. We moved to a new location, which is nice, like this place is. You want to have family and friends fly in, but we're not able to do that. So that's been new for us. But we love it here. Love it here in Arkansas, and think I really made the right move to come here with a great staff and big coach.
Is there anything you want to add that I did not ask?
No, look, I think, I think it'll be a fun year for college sports. It'll be a different year, but I think the fact that we're a college athletic flag, those that watch college football and the basketball on the horizon, at least when you see it all, I think the fact that sports back on TV, it's all of us, a release to watch something and cheer on our fans. So I'm hoping we can get some Razorback fans over there in Bermuda, and look for it coming over when the season's over and when the world opens back up.
Well, that's a good interview from Mr.
David
Patrick, who's doing quite well for himself down in Arkansas. It's amazing coming from a small country like Bermuda, had great ambitions in basketball. Yes, he had the opportunity to play in the States and then advance himself to go in Australia, if I'm correct. And then he took over on the West Coast as a head coach, and now he's in Division One as an assistant coach to the Musselman family, who's well known throughout basketball.
Right.
Eric Musselman, the father, who was a coach in the NBA. Now the son is at Arkansas as head coach. So it's a wealth of experience that he's bringing. But most importantly, he's just outlined what he's got to go through for COVID-19 for this season. Not an easy task.
That's always going to be a challenge, especially when it comes to college, because remember, you have so many different things going on. They're in classes, they're doing this, they're doing that. Where the NFL, it's kind of the professional guy, he comes to work, he goes home.
Correct.
It's going to be a little more challenging for sports to get back up and running in the school environment. And you heard from him the challenges faced, day in and day out. So
you got the classes.
Yep.
You've got the training. You got obviously the testing leading up to the next programs or games, I should say. They're not going to be flying as they were before. They're catching the bus. So it's like starting all over. They probably have to leave. I'm guessing if a game is on a Saturday, they'll leave on a Thursday. So they'll leave on the Friday, stay on the night, play the game Saturday.
And how uncomfortable is that?
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very
uncomfortable. So they'll be playing teams within close proximity of maybe a 6-hour bus ride as opposed to a 12-hour bus ride. I mean, you're not gonna get no productivity even a day after a rest, because when you get there, you're gonna have to run the legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they've been sitting for so long and all that. So all that's gonna have to come into play. And now the coach has to become a sort of a mathematician. How long do I keep my players? Where do we stop to make sure they stretch their legs and all of that?
That's so true.
All that. analysis now comes into play.
Yeah.
You know, what do you have to eat on the bus? What do you have to do? You know,
Mm-hmm.
basketball, you've got a group of what, maybe 30 people that will travel, coaches, trainers, all of that.
Yeah, correct.
Could you imagine what they will have to do for football?
Yeah, you're right.
You're talking about
That's hard.
7 buses, man. 6 or 7 buses.
Yeah, probably up to 10.
Yeah.
Because then you got the equipment that they carry.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not easy, man.
No.
That's not easy.
No.
And so he's in a better situation than the college football because of the numbers.
Yes, pure numbers, yeah.
But just the mere fact that he has to go through the process, it's his recruiting, he said, is different. It's online, it's Zoom more so. You don't personally get to meet the athlete. The athlete don't personally get to meet you. To obviously persuade them, it's going to be different types of challenges. The athlete likes to see what the campus is all about. Like to see what the academic program entails, what the classroom's like, what do they offer for the tutors. The assistant coaches have to also look at different things that they haven't done as assistant coaches, right? So it's hard, and he's in a Division I school, so people are looking at the expectations.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in a big school, so you can get it done. It's no different.
Division I is where you get fired the most. If you don't meet the standard made, and they're very cruel. It's like one and done. No, you're not good enough. Check you later. But I always tease David, since he's been in Arkansas. I always tease him and say, you know, you live in the shadows of Brian Wellman at the school. See, you live in the shadows of Brian Wellman at the school.
What do you say?
We always have a good chuckle, because when he was going there, I sent him a message that he needs to make sure that he knows who's on that campus.
Right.
And it was last year. Brian was there with Janai Parent Chief at an indoor track meet. This was before David got there, but you know, just hearing from Brian talk about, you know, being back in the building kind of thing, you know, that's where he made a name for himself at that school. So, you know, and just teasing David, like, you don't keep dropping Bermuda when you're out there, see, because you got to live in the shadows of Brian Wellman. But yeah, it's all good fun.
Yeah, it's amazing though what you point out there. You got Brian Wellman, who was very distinguished in triple jump, right, at the University of Arkansas, Division I school, right? And then you got another Bermudian coming along as an assistant coach.
Yeah.
At his alma mater.
Yeah.
Right.
You just
speaks volumes.
You just had Janai Parent Chief there.
Right, Janai.
And DeVoe Whaley's son was playing football there. Davwa Whaley.
Yeah.
He was playing football there. He got signed for a contract for the NFL, but then they cut him. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but obviously he still has ambitions of playing, so he would be, you know, still training, still doing what he has to do in the event that you never know. You might get a call up. You always hear their stories once in a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it shows you again how good our athletes are on this island, how they have accomplished to expand and compete against Division I schools, coming from Little Bermuda, putting in the time. So you have the athletes here, and then they're climbing to the top. They're going to make it.
Yeah. You know, when we start talking about opportunities, if you look at it, the ones that actually get across the line are the ones that their families made that sacrifice and sent them early.
Yeah.
They're in that environment from a young age, so they learned that challenge every day. See, in Bermuda, you can actually miss that challenge because we're so laid back. You know what I mean? We get to a point where I'm comfortable. If I'm the best footballer on my team, I may not train as hard because I know I'm the best, and I know without me, you're not going to do well. So I'm already got the team and the coach in the palm of my hand because I'll say, well, coach, I don't feel like playing today. And I mean, what are you going to say?
But then to better yourself, and as we talked about team,
right?
You're a team player. You want to surround yourself not only because you're the best player, but you want to be a part of the team to make it.
To make it better, stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's that self challenge again. That's that when you wanna, if you know, okay, we'll draw a reference. I remember when Kenny left Somerset and went to Somerset Eagles. Somerset Eagles wasn't a very good team.
No.
But when he put himself in the team, he organized them where the team will be better. So he helped them become better, and they got promoted. You know what I mean? But in the higher division, it became a little challenging because now those average players were just average players
right.
playing against some of the better players. So once teams were able to break you down, yeah, it became a challenge. But when you are one of the better players, it's your job to help inspire the guys that are not so good to just do their role.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're a ball winner, just win the ball. Don't try to make a 40-yard pass. That's not in your regiment. you don't have that in your arsenal. So win the ball, give it to him.
Speaking of Arsenal, you think Arsenal fans were on a high about 3-4 weeks ago?
Well, I had to bring that up.
Wow.
What a segue.
So I know some Arsenal fans are listening.
Oh
That's the honest
boy!
Truth. That's the honest truth.
They got Leicester City yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I said it right.
An extra
Leicester City yesterday.
Yesterday, right? An extra time.
Boy, oh boy. Hey, but you know what? I think some of these results are good for football. You know.
I don't think it's going to be a blowaway this season.
Mm.
In the Premier League, it's not because teams have made major improvements.
Right.
Pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
injuries. Injuries are part of the game.
Right.
But more so, teams have made adjustments to improve.
Yeah.
Right. And so Liverpool's not going to run away.
Right.
City's not going to run away. I said before it started that I can't see them being in the top 6. Well, no, I said top 4. The way they're playing, anything's possible. But again, no team's going to run away.
The other thing that everybody kind of overlooks, the guy in charge of the purse strings is watching money go out the door. And eventually, because although you're getting those TV deals, especially in the Premier League, right? But also the Premier League has to look out for the lower leagues because once some of those clubs disappear, the standard actually starts to drop because you don't have that many people playing the game, right?
Yeah.
So the boardroom guy has to then start making decisions for the next 5 years. This pandemic, which has stopped you from making your gate receipts,
big time,
right? You won't feel it this year because a lot of things have been put into place.
Well,
it's
done.
Go
back to your point. You're right. You said earlier. This is when we was talking earlier. They're starting to feel a little pinch early.
Yeah.
All right. They're starting to feel it now.
Yeah. They're able to spend money on players now because they have the money.
Right.
In about 3 years' time, when all of this starts to, because remember, some people will come back initially, and some won't. Because about cost, pandemic, the financial position they find themselves in. You don't know what the deal is with Brexit yet, and all those, the fallouts of that. So people might not have that money freely to open themselves up to become a season ticket holder. And those season ticket holders are the ones that keep your company, your business
intact,
operating.
And you're right, because it's a high percentage of money that they pay.
Right.
Right. And so those season ticket holders are the ones that usually, and I'm saying the average ones, that it's passed on throughout the family.
Right.
Right. For the last 60 years, my family's been a season ticket holder for Liverpool,
right,
Man United, or Arsenal,
right,
and so forth, right? And so that becomes a challenge because it's automatic. It's the way the world is economically.
You already budgeted for that. Right? That next season, here we go. Boom.
Right? It's hard, and you understand that.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. So that's why I say teams are not going to run. They made some improvements. They're not going to run away. But your point, as you mentioned before, going forward, it's going to be hard to see what's going to be like for the upcoming season.
Watch the. Everybody wants to watch the budget for Bermuda for next year. Watch the budget for some of these clubs next year. They've taken a tremendous hit.
Major.
So the free for all money that they've had over the years, because remember, now the television money is paying your salary.
Yeah, yeah.
The business was being operated by Game Weekly. You know what I mean? The stands being full and all that. Without that, now you're talking, we are now into the 10th month of the year. They haven't had spectators since, when did the game stop? March?
March or April, can't remember
Yeah.
dates.
Right, April, because the season would have, no. It started back in April, didn't it? Or it started back in June. Right, so April, May, started again in June. Still no fans, but you had to get those TV right things out of the way. So week in and week out, you're losing what would have been a big revenue maker for you is the turnstiles. And next season, because you've already started this season and there ain't been no turnstiles.
It hurts everyone.
Remember,
everyone's pocket's gonna be hurting.
Your Champions League turnstiles or European Championship turnstiles are not there. Your league turnstiles are not there. All of that, if you look at it, Tottenham played 4 games in 10 days about 2 weeks ago. 3 of those games were home. How much money did they lose?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. That's
and that's the challenge, that because on the business side of it, everybody looks at the football side, but on the business side of it, eventually you will have to take some sort of cost-cutting measures and spending measures to actually survive. And the bigger clubs have bigger bills.
And that's across the board, not just in the EPL.
Right.
It's in North America.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading a report the other day that in hockey, that there may be 1 or 2 teams that fold in hockey.
Yeah.
Right. You look at who was it? The Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about playing.
They have to play in New York. They need to play in New York. They can't play in Canada.
They can't play in Canada.
Right.
So
how much revenue is lost there?
Then, well, I'm sure that was. No, you're right. It's lost.
Yeah.
It's lost. And that affects the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Right? Because you can't play in Toronto.
Can't play.
So what happens to the Montreal Canadiens?
Yep. Yep.
It's gonna be
Quebec,
right?
Yeah.
Quebec, no deep sitting
Yep.
score. Right?
Yeah.
So,
look, Canadian Football League's going.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because they used to run simultaneously with the NFL. Or they cannot operate businesses now. The Toronto Arrows, which is no Arrows. This is a rugby team. They play World Rugby League in Toronto. And they have a Bermudian Marcelo Wainwright. He plays for them. They're already set up their season for 2021, which will start in March. They start training in January. They're looking at hoping that things will open up for them to play. But if they don't, they have to then play all their games on the road.
Living out a suitcase.
Yeah. You know, so a new challenge for them. How do we market this? How do we, it's certain sports in the U.S., a lot of it's done through the marketing. Huge sponsorship, but you still need those turnstiles. You still need those gate receipts in order to make those other commitments that you have. Plans,
sure.
So
let's take a commercial break, and then we come back. We'll talk more. Our guest has arrived a little early, but nevertheless, he's here. We'll take a commercial break and be back after this.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us is Mr. Clifford Roberts. Yet another year, man on the run. A remarkable, a remarkable cause. You know, when you first came up with the concept, and you guys rallied around. It had a small beginning, but it has grown tremendously. Again, organizing this event to bring awareness to prostate cancer and the like, um, it, it it can't be that much of a challenge anymore because of the cause.
Well, first of all, Mr. Daisy, Mr. Rollins, and my friend to my left. First of all, thank you for having me on the show today. It is an honor to be here and to emphasize and stress the healthy lifestyle, which is what this is really all about. Men taking care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Men on the Run came about, as you know, in reality, was 2011.
Mm-hmm.
It was a thought. The thought was, actually, I was watching the Partner Re Women's race, the breast cancer race. As we know, it's been going on forever.
Yeah.
You see the women running in droves.
Mm-hmm.
And women, they sign up once the event's finished for the next year.
Yes.
So I was at the event watching my wife run, as I normally do, and support her. And I sat there and I was looking at all these guys. There was just so many guys around watching their significant other, friends, and family running. And I was wondering, first of all, how can we and what can we do as men to, encourage men being a part of something when it came to our lifestyle? So yes, it's been around since 2011, but officially this is our 8th year, Mr. Daisy.
Okay.
We're in year 8 for Man on the Run, AXA, Man on the Run, 5K walk. And again, I just want to stress it is about raising the awareness of prostate cancer in Bermuda, which we know when it comes to men, there is a taboo of going to the doctor and getting your prostate checked. And in fact, there's just a taboo for men to go to a doctor.
Right.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. If somebody could really give me a good answer, then maybe this might stop, but I don't.
Yeah.
Because we never get the right answer.
Right.
So when it comes to the event, planning this event, yes, it's been 8 years really in fruition. However, the planning this year has been somewhat of a task, just slightly. I want to thank the staff and the support team from the Cancer Center, Azuri, Deborah Nary, and all those ladies that work with the radiation department, the front desk. They do a wonderful job in supporting not just this event, but all the other events going on. And I'd like to thank the sponsors, AXA XL and Botafina Vallis. AXA XL is our title sponsor. They came on board and they were willing to assist with financially providing subsistency for this event to be where it is today.
Right.
But this year, I'll go back to the planning this event. This event this year, because of COVID, has changed so many things of how we do things when it comes to managing a race. A lot of behind the scenes of ensuring, as you see here, the sanitizers and stuff like that. We have to put measures in place with the face mask. People are saying, well, how do you plan to run with guys showing up with face masks? Well, we have to put stipulations in place which we are adhering to all of the measures that the government ministry has put into place. You come to the event if you are fit, not coughing, showing no signs or symptoms of any sickness or anything like that. You have to wear your mask. You have to do all those things. We're encouraging men to, when they run or walk, not to run in pods of maybe 4 or 5 more. So that keeps it's keeping it safe.
Right.
Because we had to get permission to have the event for over 75 persons, 75 participants. My apologies. But this year the ministry has put a cap on how many we want to participate, and this year we can only allow 250 participants.
Mm.
Unfortunately, but fortunate, what I've incorporated in this year's event is a virtual event where you
Okay.
can do it. We've started it. We've opened the virtual event from, I think it was October the 9th, and you are able to do 5K walk or run any day, anytime, up until November 8th
Right.
at midnight.
Okay.
Okay, so we should be able to get at least 500 men. I see 3 people sitting right in front of me. At some point, I know they might be on their relaxation period where they can go out for a walk. I know Mr. Ron, his significant other, she instead of getting swimming one day, they might
Clifford, only if you knew, right? Oh, you must have been tuning in earlier today.
Nope. I've been busy doing, government work.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, you think somebody called me?
I'll leave that to Earl and Dawn.
No, see, Ian, I do my research.
Oh my
I do my
gracious.
research.
Oh my.
The same way how you do your research on who's coming into these shows.
You know what?
I got to do my research.
That Neil went right through the wood just now,
You're a
man.
good man, Clifford, man. You're a good man. You are a good man. That's what I'm going to say.
And you know what the good thing about me even making that comment is the fact that she will support you. And that's what this event is all about.
Yeah.
She will support you.
Right.
Anybody in your family will support you for this event. This is a worthy cause, and it sometimes when I'm talking about it, it brings goosebumps because I can feel the energy with all the men when they get out there. I can feel it. And then, you show up on the day and it's, I didn't see you last year.
Right.
I never saw you last year. Then you see them the following year. And then you see them bring somebody else the next year. So it's
growing.
It's growing. And that's what this event is about. When I talk about the support and awareness, the awareness is not just saying, I know about prostate cancer. I know, Man on the Run is coming up next year, November. It's about support and saying, today, Earl is sitting next to me. What happens with him tomorrow?
Right.
I want to be here for Earl tomorrow. So, Earl, what's going on? How's everything? Ian, what's going on? Yeah. How's everything? Man, I had a hard day. The stresses we deal with every day, it can create cancers.
That's true.
And that's what this is about. This is about being supportive mentally and physically. The physical side is making sure that we stay healthy.
Right.
Go to our doctors. Listen to our body. When our body's saying rest, when our body's saying don't eat or eat less, or drink less, that's what this is all about. It's about listening to each other and listening to the support that's around you.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I really came about with this idea. Prostate cancer is, I believe it's the 3rd highest cancer in death worldwide, right? So what we want to do is we want to educate by making you aware of, early detection is early prevention.
Correct.
Okay? So that's what this is about.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
Has this year's route changed? I know you got stipulations on once people finish, they gotta kind of vacate the premises and all that.
Yeah.
But has the route been adjusted any bit to allow that?
No. What we don't want to do any changes in respect of the route, because some guys, as we know, we have those that are very competitive and they want to get better every year with their time.
Right.
And then there are those that want to just do it.
Right. Participate.
So no, we're not gonna do any altering with the course. But again, with the virtual side, the virtual allows you to do it whenever, wherever you wish to do it.
Right.
And that's a 5K walk or run. Like last week, Tuesday, I posted something on WhatsApp, and then I think I sent it to Facebook. And I was up Horseshoe, South Shore. I did a 5K from the reefs up to Workman's to the regiment camp and back.
Right.
And as I was out there, and I found it amazing, was that, I shouldn't say I found it amazing, it was, I'm out there running / walking, and I see men out there and I'm stopping them, asking them questions,
Mm.
encouraging them to participate in this event
Right.
or do the virtual.
Right.
So at 5, 6:30 in the morning, there are men out there, there are
Mm.
women out there, and I stopped to some of the women, encouraging them to get their spouses. Look,
Right.
you have this event Sunday, November 8th, 9 a.m. at Work Academy. That's the live event.
Mm-hmm.
250 participants. And I'm stressing to them, if they can't do it then,
Right.
do it virtual because you're already out there.
Mm. Are you still incorporating the youth race as well?
Yes, we are. We do have a junior 2K,
Mm-hmm.
which is the same route, which
Right.
leaves Work Academy, Middle Road East
Mm-hmm.
to Mensch Road,
Right.
to Harbor Road,
And
back to Morgan's Road to
Right.
Work Academy start and
Okay.
finish. The start and finishes is and remains at the Work Academy.
Mm.
And I just want to mention or give a thank you to Work Academy for allowing us to have the event at their facility, because without them, again, we need support, and support comes from different angles, different needs.
Right.
And we have to say thank you to each and every one of them out there. Again, without all of them, who knows where we would be.
Right.
We probably wouldn't have the Man on the Run. This is an all male event. All male. So unfortunately, ladies, you can, if you're out there listening, you can sign up your hubby.
Yeah, you can come out and support it.
Right. Yeah.
What's been the response? I can't even put a question. Ian? Clifford, man, you're my mate, bro. You're good. I was going to show her on my schedule for the 8th, right?
Okay.
Earl may have a good chocolate this one. I'm going to show it to boy, show it to you.
Man on the Run.
There you go.
Oh. Well, trust me, there will be quite a few of those fellas that will do the Man on the Run and then go and watch that.
I know. I'm just messing. I'm just messing. Right? So on that day, Man City plays Liverpool.
Oh.
12:30.
It's all right. I'm a Spurs man.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. 3 goals up and 3 goals in.
It happens.
It happens, bro.
It happens.
I get it.
It always happens.
It happens. It's happened to me.
It happened last week.
It happened to me numerous occasions.
Yep.
And I never.
Or the score could be 7-1.
Oh, no, 7-2.
7-2.
Yeah, we had the 27th minute.
Yep.
The 37th minute, the 17th minute. We had a lot of 7-2s.
The bottom line is, gents, we're still ahead of everyone besides Monty. Anyway, get back to the schedule, right? It's been a success. Obviously, you've been working on this for numerous years. What's been the feedback from the men when they participate in this event? What's the feedback when you
I mean, it's the feedback has been unbelievable on the day, and like when it gets really close to it, and the feedback afterwards, like the day after, I had a great time. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed the environment. They enjoyed the atmosphere. They enjoyed the camaraderie of seeing guys that I hadn't seen in a while.
Right.
And what also adds to it is, like, within the event, you have policemen come out. We had some officers from a particular unit, the armed response unit. They came out in their fatigues
Geared up.
and
Firemen.
carrying a ladder, an entry ladder, around the course. We had firemen come out running in the bunker kit.
Yeah.
Now, come on. Listen to all the firefighters that are out there listening. I applaud you.
Yeah.
And I would encourage you again to come out and support the event, because, again, part of this is the doing it for a cause, within a cause. And I know the firefighters ran last year in lieu of losing a brother, as we all may have lost a brother somewhere.
Right.
So the camaraderie and all that, it just adds to it. The feedback has always been positive. The challenge is just trying to get guys to register early and know, like, today is October 26th.
26. You're 2 weeks away.
I'm 2 weeks away. I have 61 participants registered. I would love to see 250 tomorrow, because 250 tomorrow means there have been over 100 and just over 100 and just less than 150 who are actually listening to this interview right now and saying, I want to be a part of it. Because next year, hopefully COVID has sort of like withered away the parameters that are in place to limit our numbers. We can ask for more.
Right.
And then that means the awareness is really getting out there, not just in Bermuda. Because again, this event, the virtual side allows us to say to our overseas visitors who are listening to the show.
Mm.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to do this run around the park in New York City,
Yeah.
or in Boston, anywhere in the world. If they are listening, they can still register and complete this event because this should part of the virtual is, as all virtual, you will register, you'll get a link, you'll complete the event, and then you'll download your time.
Mm.
So virtual doesn't mean that you can't do it because I know some guys say, "Oh, well, I'm working
Right.
on this day. I'm gonna do this on this
Right.
Sunday."
You don't have to wait till Sunday.
You don't have to wait till Sunday.
Mm.
You have from now until midnight, November the 8th.
I know over the years, Clifford, we've seen guys challenging each other,
Yeah.
and that's what happens. Like the last week of registration, you'll start seeing guys saying, "Well, look, let's us do it. I'll beat you,"
Yes.
and then but it also brings out that little spirit,
Yes, it does. It
And
does.
I think once we get a little closer, but and you're right, signing up at the last minute is not what you want. You want to make sure you have your numbers in. But yeah, I think we need to encourage guys to challenge the buddy.
Yeah, and
you're right.
in saying the challenges, what I want to add up or throw out there, sometimes when I've done some of these interviews and right afterwards, I may see someone in a different um, organization.
Mm.
Like I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I saw Maceo Deal.
Mm.
I believe he's at the
Youth and Sport.
Youth and Sports.
Right.
Maceo, if you're listening, I'm putting it out there to you again. North Village always support breast cancer and wear pink. I know it's nice to see a man in pink. I love to wear pink. I don't mind wearing it.
Right.
But I'm going to encourage you, Mr. Deal, and any other manager, director, to encourage your sports teams to come out and support the Man on the Run 5K because it's about us, man. It is about us in supporting each other. And I say that because I want the support from we have football teams. We had the rugby classic.
Right.
Let's get the rugby young fellas, the seniors, or I should say mature men who come out.
Right.
We have hockey groups. We have so many groups. We have fraternities. We have Freemasons. We have corporate businesses, Axel. Correction, now Axel. My apologies.
Right.
But we have Chubb.
Right.
We have all those corporate businesses.
You even have the insurance companies that are big on health.
They are big on health, and we also have ministers in our government.
Right.
I mean, I would love to see the ministers, male and female, come out and support the event.
Right.
This is not just about the average everyday guy who may be sick. It's not about that. Right. This is about the guy who actually is looking fit, and you never know.
Right.
You just never know. You just never know.
Right.
No matter how much training we do, it's about support because supporting is family, friends.
Just getting back to the numbers, we already touched base on looking at 250. The point was good that they sign up now. You said the same thing. On average, yes, you get 250. It wouldn't surprise you that the men sign up the last minute, correct?
It doesn't surprise me.
But we don't want to go down that path. We want to have things in place now.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why, I think we always want to have things in place simply because that goes back to the organization.
That's correct.
So let's say next year I decide, or our group decides, you know what, we can put it on and do a virtual, which will start earlier, which means we can order like T-shirts, goodie bags, all this type of things well in advance, and every participant can have their shirt and do it as you saw this year. You saw the partner read. Women were walking a week before the event. They had the pink shirts on.
That's right.
Guys, come out early. We can do it earlier. And I think it just adds to the whole organization and again support. Which that is one of my key things right now. It's about support because I just it tickles me and it just bugs me sometimes.
Right.
Understand? Let's take a commercial break and then we come back to hear more from Mr. Clifford Roberts. Clifford, from a male's perspective, again, are you the only one up front that's doing this all by yourself? Because it's a lot of work, right? And you know, us men, look at these egos, we wait to the last minute and everything. But yes, we want the treatment, we want the acknowledgement, we want all this. But therefore, are you getting assistance from other males to put this on?
Man, you put me on the spot. You have put me on the spot here. I get support from the men when they want to assist with, do you need any help on the day? You know, the volunteering. Um, for me, what I would like is the men to support it and encourage the others. And I'll speak to it. We just had the conversation. I'll speak to my good friend, Mr. Keynes, Wayne Keynes. When he first informed me he had tested or was diagnosed positive with prostate. Um, and then another friend of mine, Mr. Darren Lewis. Um, I'll say it again. I sat in my office when they both told me, you know, tears came to my eyes because I didn't know what effect this event would have had or the response I would have got. And they came out, and I know Mr. Keynes actually, they formed a group that was, they were meeting at the cancer center. I believe it was every other Wednesday or Thursday, like a support group for guys that had prostate or were overcoming the treatment and the successful treatment of it. At this stage, I don't know where that group is. I know I do get a lot of verbal support from people like another colleague of mine, Nigel Richardson, tested positive for prostate at the age of 39. 39 years old. That's not really, it's not the norm.
Right.
But, and that goes back to us just saying, we just never know.
Right.
Overall, I get a lot of support from the women. I hate to say it, but I get a lot of support from women who say, you know, it's a good thing what you're doing. At work, I get a lot of support from those guys that I'm working with.
Right.
You know, they talk about it. Everybody pushes it and talks about it. Let's get on board. Let's do Cliff's race. It's not my race.
Right.
It's you guys' race. It's the community, male community's race. It's not my race. And that's what I have to stress. That's what I want to really stress that point. This is not my race. I am a supporter for the cause. And you being a participant is a supporter for the cause. And supporting the cause means you're supporting the community.
Right.
Again, healthy lifestyle, healthy living encourages prevention and detection and prevention. The support from the cancer center with the radiation therapy, you know, because all of this that we do is raising funds to ensure that if we become or a family member gets tested positive, then they don't have the insurance, and maybe they're going to have to go overseas. This sort of prevents them from having to go overseas because the treatment center is here to assist them.
Right.
And again, that's why I say
because it does raise the funds for that.
Yes, the equal access.
And the reason I asked that question is because listening to you, and we've interviewed you on numerous occasions of this, but it's always like Clifford out front, and it's a lot of work. And Earl and I know from doing other events, it's good to have an assistant, right, or assistants, and especially in this case, males. Yes, they want help on the day off, but I'm talking about leading up to it, something that 2-3 months out there help you put it together, and get it out there because, again, you know, us men, we're gonna wait till the last minute. We do, and we do it, and we have to step away from that and take care of ourselves. Like a young man like you, who out there every morning eating the right foods, training every day.
Sorry,
and
let me stop you for a sec.
You know what I'm doing. No, let's not get too technical, right? Let's be real. No one eats 100%. But my point is that you're out there, right? And you're taking care of yourself, right? 25 years ago, you weren't there.
No.
That's my point, right? No. So it's a lifestyle change, and you understood it, and you understand your body, you understand what it can take and what it can't take. And I'm saying us males, black males, we don't do that. No. We wait to the last minute, then we say we're gonna make lifestyle changes. We can't wait to them. We gotta take it now. Take the initiative, right? And for some reason, we always talk about when we did this, we did that as young men growing up. I ain't got the time to do it now. But this is time, like, an example to say, you know what, I need to do it before I get the call and do it.
You said something just now. You said the young. You talked about the ages. Sometimes when we look at the research, we go back to prostate cancer, right? We talk about 40 and up, 45 and up. Let's go down to the age of 14. We're talking about testicular cancer. A young male at the age of 14 can be diagnosed positive with testicular cancer at the age of 14. Is that normal? No, it's not.
No.
But we need to do things at an early age, and you're right. It starts from early, and we're talking about early prevention gets early detection.
Right.
So we need to do that. Regarding the support, I mean, maybe it's just habit. I've done the Earl knows, I've done the Gymkhana for well over 10 years. People talk about events that you're planning. It's just like throwing water on grass and watching it grow. Yeah, now it's becoming a bit easier. But would I appreciate more men being involved? Yeah, just step forward. We know when the event is, and I'm going to say it's the second Sunday of November every year. The second Sunday. It's the Sunday after the New York Marathon.
Right.
For all those runners that are familiar with the overseas events, just think of the New York Marathon. Oh, the following week is Man on the Run.
Right.
You know, so just come forward.
Right.
We have so many women that are willing to help out, and they just want to volunteer. Maybe I think they're trying to look at the guys.
Just like the guys do for the partnering.
Hey, it's called support.
Yeah.
You know, I agree with you, Earl.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would love for more men to come forward and be a part of it, so we can actually have a group. My mindset when I'm in the planning stages, I didn't even think about, okay, I need to call somebody, a guy, to get help with me, because some thoughts just come up, like when I'm in my bed sleeping at midnight, or because I go to bed early.
Oh, I know.
A thought comes to my mind, and I'm like, okay, tomorrow, let me just call Azari.
Right.
As I know she may be listening, she may not be listening, but Mrs. Williams has been a godsend when it comes to helping me out with this event, because she does a lot of work in the background.
She's on point. Right?
She is very much on point. So I must give her kudos. I mean, she's probably up here like every day.
Yeah. I think they have an office for her up here.
Yeah.
But look, the reason I say it again, because we men, we wait to the last minute. And then I think the also part that you bring to the table is the education of it.
Yeah.
We want to be educated as men, but we wait to the last minute again. So let's just say there are some new guys that are coming on the block and they understand it on the day of November 8th. Yeah. Let's be real. 3-4 days, maybe let's say a week. It fades out.
Yeah.
Educating them prior will last longer, and they can make the necessary steps. And that's what you're stressing. I'm saying more men need to come on board and share this information that you know.
One of the major problems in Bermuda is always this. Until it happens to somebody close enough to you, you don't even get concerned about it.
You hit the nail on the head.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's so unfortunate.
Right.
It's so unfortunate. I mean, look at what COVID's doing. We're losing friends through COVID. But are we really losing friends through COVID or through other sicknesses or illnesses?
Right.
You know,
everybody's had to make lifestyle changes for better through this worst period.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have the added funds to splurge on yourself. You don't have, so you've got to make those wise choices when buying. You have to make those wise choices whether you want to go somewhere or whatever. It's the same thing. The one thing that I could say, you have some new physicians who have come on board who are willing to work with so many more people nowadays in reducing cost of going to visit a doctor. As we know, back in the day, every visit you was paying right, and people were not going through that, you know. But now you see all these doctors coming up with plans. You know, they have a basic where you could come in less than $70, you know, for the entire month, so you can go as many times as you feel like it, and you can get checked and the whole. and you have more of that. So the opportunities now to be tested on a regular basis is there for you.
Yeah, and you made a good point too, Earl, because next month I believe Azari will be discussing. 'Cause remember, November is Men's Month,
Right.
so there will be she'll be explaining the screening, which is the funds that are raised during this event and during the month of November will go towards assisting with health screening. I'm not sure quite. I'm not too sure if they're actually going to have the free screening.
Right.
I don't think so.
I don't think they are.
And we know why.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Understand.
Yeah.
However, in months going forward, I'm sure there are going to be some other type of forums going on where you can do that. And part of the cancer center's mission is to assist males with those type of challenges if they can't go to a doctor, or they can't afford it. Again, this is where all the funds, what it goes towards, free screening for burn density, cholesterol, high blood pressure, all those type of things that we take for granted as a male because you wait to the wait until the last minute, your legs hurting you, and now I'm not your wife or your significant other, go to the doctor, buddy, and you're deciding, no, I'm not gonna go. I feel okay. I'll just wear it out. I'll walk it out. I'll run it out, or I'll just chill it out. And then it gets worse and worse and worse. And then if we don't have those insurances, we can't afford it. So it gets worse financially and physically. So again, this event, one of many, it's about raising awareness, supporting each other, and being there and changing lifestyles. You know.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Is there anything you'd like to add that we did not ask?
Well, for all those who have not registered yet, you can go to www.racedayworld.com, register online, and again, because we only have a limitation, 250 participants on the day, Sunday, November 8th, 9 a.m. start at Work Academy. However, you can do the virtual event today or any day between now and November 8th at midnight. And again, the virtual, you can actually print off your race registration. You can download photographs while you're out there walking and running with your buddy, or you can check, or your significant other can be out there with you. Post those pictures on the actual race page. So there's no reason why we can't get more men to be more aware, because that's my goal, to be more aware. And I love to see each and every male and junior out there, as much as 250 at least on race day.
At the official race.
At the official race. Right. However, we can get another 250 to participate in the virtual. Guys, would love to have you. And if anybody wants to volunteer and be part of the support team and building up for 2021, C. Roberts 2 at bps.bm or 717-0590.
We welcome you back on the 9th. Just looking at the calendar here. So the event's on the 8th. We welcome back on the 9th. Give us a reply on that.
I'll be here.
Yeah?
I'll be here.
We just have the time.
Yes.
Right.
What is the latest date? Latest date to register?
The latest date to register?
Yes.
Deadline.
The deadline to register is actually the 7th. And the
Saturday, the day before.
Saturday.
You know why he said it that way? Because he's right. You're right. Deadline means nothing to men again.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
You got to say the word date.
And you know what? And I'm glad you did mention that, because there is no late registration.
Right.
There is no late registration. The pickup is for your goodie bag, or whatever you want to call your bag, is on the Saturday at the Woodlands, Butterfield and Dallas.
And you come get your race number.
And you come get your race number, but you can't even register then.
Right.
So there's no late registration. Registration will end at midnight on the 7th of November. Okay? So again, it's curbside pickup.
Right.
So guys, register 250 by tomorrow. It'd be great. That'd be wonderful.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much for coming on board.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome you back on the 9th of November. We'll set up a time for you in that date.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Let's take another commercial break and be back after this.
Oh boy.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Just want to thank our guest, Mr. Clifford Roberts. I was going to say another last name, so I paused real quick.
Right.
For coming on board today, giving us an update on Men on the Run.
Mm-hmm.
And we wish him and the organization all the best. I told him during commercial break I will be a partner and actually help him assist him put the event on and get it out there. I mean, it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
About hesitation, right? Have to take care of health, man.
Yeah, man.
It's important. We don't want to wait to the last minute.
That's true. That's true.
We just wait till the last minute. We got to stop that. We got to stop and be ahead of the game when it comes to health and deal with the matters. And you feel better. You breathe better. You think better. Handle situations better.
Yep.
Some people go quiet. Like me. Any final comments, mate?
No, just looking forward to another sporty week. Obviously, the Gold Cup got underway today. Day 2 of the rugby. PGA starts on Thursday. Full weekend of elite sports going on, but let's not forget that we also have our local sports that is around week in and week out, and we need to make sure that they get the coverage as much as everyone else. So
that's true.
So looking forward to another week of sports.
Okay. Just want to let our viewers know and listeners know that we are carrying coverage of the rugby 10s on ZFP TV7, and we will be carrying the golf as well. ZFP on TV9 on the weekends, so tune in to ZFP and ZFP respectively with the golf and of course the rugby. We're out to everyone participating in sports this week.
Mm-hmm.
That's our show. Ciao for now.